For me, my favorite argument for the existence of God that I find the most compelling is a version of the cosmological argument, which goes like this: whatever begins to exist has a cause.
So what you're saying is, if something exists, then there was something that caused it to exist. All right, we're going to circle back to this one. We will circle back to this one eventually. I'm just trying to get my bearings down.
Something can't just come into being from nothing.
Literal nothing or seeming nothingness? Because if there's literally nothing, then yeah, something can't just pop into existence from actual literal nothingness. But things can pop into existence from seeming nothingness. Take for example, quantum fluctuations. Now, quantum fluctuations are just little energy fluctuations that happen all around us at all different times, and they come from seeming nothingness. They come from the quantum field. But in an absolute literal nothingness, no, there's nothing there. There can't be anything that comes from absolutely nothing.
Secondly, the universe began to exist.
And there are plenty of arguments out there that state that the universe, even though the universe began to exist, it has always existed. It just hasn't existed in the form we know of it today.
I think we have both good philosophical arguments and scientific evidence for the finitude of the past, from which it follows, third, therefore the universe has a cause.
Yeah, the universe has a cause, but that doesn't necessarily mean that cause is God, because when you bring God into the equation, you also have to answer where God came from.
And when you do a conceptual analysis of what it is to be a cause of the universe, you
Random chance. That's basically what it boils down to. Even if we don't actually know what caused the universe to inflate as rapidly as it did or pop into existence in the way that it did, it all boils down to simply random chance. That's it. Just random chance.
to arrive at a being which is an uncaused, beginningless, timeless, spaceless, enormously powerful personal creator of the universe.
So, miracles. Because that's the only logical way that your God could exist in the way you described it, to be miraculous. Its existence derived from miracles. That's it. Magic. Poof. Ta-da! It's like the magician pulling the rabbit out of the hat. Look at that. The rabbit came from nothing. Just like God. Apparently.
So for me, that is a very convincing argument.
The Kalam cosmological argument is by far one of the worst arguments for the existence of God out there. It falls under the same category as the watchmaker argument. It's God exists, the universe exists, therefore God must exist. Okay, but if God exists and something can't come from nothing, the only way you can get God to exist in the way that most people use it, most people use the Kalam cosmological argument, or should I say most Christians use it, you would need God to have been born from miraculous happenstance. And if there's one thing that can be said about miracles, it's that if miracles were actually happening, if miracles were actually real and they actually happened, they would not be miracles. They would be physical evidence of the stuff that's happening. Because a miracle, by definition, falls outside of the realm of physical possibility. It just simply cannot happen. They don't exist. They're not real.